Greetings, Eric, the Car Guy viewer. I recently took my 2003 Element on a very long road trip, about 1,400 miles total, and that thing didn't burn a lick of oil. And I'm so proud of my baby. I want to do something nice for her, so I think I'm going to add a little bling. I looked up online and found a place called CARiD.com and checked them out and went through and looked to see what they have to possibly add a little something to my front end here. And I found this cool grill from T-Rex that I ordered and had it shipped in, and it showed up at my front door, and I thought it was awesome. And the people at CARiD even hooked me up with this cool t-shirt. This video is basically the step-by-step of how I installed this wicked cool T-Rex grill on my 2003 Element. This is the box as it showed up from CARiD. We have our grill, both what looks like upper and lower. Now, one thing that's very important when you order parts online, or just whenever you're doing stuff like this in general, take it over to the vehicle, see if it looks like it's going to fit first. Because if this stuff isn't going to fit, you're about to waste a whole bunch of time. So before you throw away all your packaging and everything, you want to make sure that the stuff is going to fit and the stuff is going to work. We're going to be removing this center section. It looks like it's separate on this vehicle. Most of you will probably have a flat tip screwdriver that you can just stick under and just sort of pry up. You pull out the center and it comes right out. Grab both sides, click it, and pull it out. Just pull that piece right out of there. Now I'm going to try to be a little more practical this time and just use and do the same on the other side. Now that you have all the stuff disconnected, both on the top and the bottom, and the screws in the wheel well, you should be able to just pull this whole assembly right up. Alright, now with this front bumper assembly removed, things are going to be a lot simpler. As you can see up under here, there's some more of those clips that hold this on that we're going to pop off, and then we can just take this whole center grill portion right out of here. In addition to those clips, it looks like we're going to have to remove these 4 screws, top and bottom here, in order to get this assembly out. There we go. Alright, now with this out of the vehicle, it's going to be a lot easier to remove this center portion, and it's just a question of removing all these screws around the outside. You can just lift it out. So it looks like it will install, and it's really just going to be a matter of fastening it down. So let's take it out of the plastic and pull the trigger on this thing. And you don't want to screw these down all the way. You want to get them all started first before you run them the whole way down. It has these fasteners across, or these holes across the top that were fastened on by our plastic clips. Now with the new grill, we don't have that, but we still want to be able to fasten the top of this grill to the truck. So what they've done is they've given you this little L bracket here. You can install on one of these things right here. You can see it used to screw on right there, so you're just basically going to put this in place of that. So just take one of your factory screws through the small hole, because the big hole is for that plastic clip, and just run that down. It'd be much better if you didn't run it down like I just did with an electric tool, if you ran it down with just a regular screwdriver, because these are rather fragile. So it's just barely held on there now. So that was my bad, but you can learn from that mistake and not use electric tools for running these down. But if you mess up like I did, I'm just going to run like a little bead of super glue down in there just to connect that plastic up. And while the glue dries on that, let's check out the instructions for that lure. It's going to be a lot easier to install without my license plate bracket in place. So I'm just going to remove that here. push it back through and it'll come right out. It doesn't really say a top or a bottom. I'm just gonna try it both ways and see which way fits the best. It seems to fit a lot better this way. That looks pretty cool. All right, now looking at the back, it might tell a different story because these clips need to slide on down to here and the screws need to go through these clips to hold this on. But if you leave the insert in, you're not going to be able to clear this here. So you're not going to be able to push this down on here far enough in order to get that through there. So it looks like no matter what, I've got to cut this out. And I'm okay with that because, let's face it, it's going to look better with this and nothing behind it. And there it goes. Giant ice cube tray. All right, now it's time to install our grill. So I'm gonna go in from the back side here. Just lift this up, get this in place again. Then you've got these speed clips. There's 4 of them that go on the corners. You just get those into position. And these speed clips just push down on the bumper. You've got one side that has where the screw will go through. You have one side that's just the hole. I don't think you need to drill pilot holes, but you do need to make sure they line up properly. Okay, now that I've got them all started, I'm going to run them in the rest of the way. It's kind of looking awesome already. Running these outer 4 screws, we're good. Just reuse the same screws that you took out. Nice. Now let's get it back on the truck. First we'll put our license plate back on. Push it through. That looks way better with that in there. So I'm kind of glad I did that. Looks a lot better like that. Now let's get the plate on and get this bumper back on the truck. You probably saw me fidgeting over here. You have to, there's like a little hook on there that you need to make sure it gets up in that hole. There. And this goes on the inside. There you go. And the rest just slides in. Remember I told you about that L bracket? Well, that's what it's for. And leave the screw a little loose, just slightly, so that you can move it around. I've got it in here. Gorilla Glue seems to be holding.